Hello guys, welcome to another exciting tutorial with me. In today's tutorial, I'll be showing you how you can create this social media flyer in CorelDraw with few steps. If you've not subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe button and don't forget to turn on the post notification so you don't miss any video I upload or I'll be uploading shortly. Without further ado, let's get started. The first thing we'll do here is go straight to File and click on New. Click on File, click on New. The next thing I'll be doing is I'll be setting the custom size because it's actually a social media post. So I'll be setting a custom file. I'll be using the width of 4 and the height of 5. That's 4 by 5. Primary color mode should be set to RGB, and I'll leave this in inches, resolution 300. Nothing else to click here, so I'll just click OK. So first things first, I would like to do is I would like to create a workboard inside of this that I can actually work with. So I'll come over here and double click on this rectangle too. So as you can see, I have my workboard set here. So the next thing I'll do is I would fill this with a darker toned red. And I'll come over here and hold my control key and tone down this red a bit, just like this. I think I'll tone it down a bit more. I think with this I'm okay. The next thing I'll be doing now is I'll remove the outline from this board I just created. So the main reason why we have to create board in CorelDraw is because most times we have to power clip objects. So it's actually a good practice for you to have your first item like this, so you can always add so many other things inside of it. So the next thing I'll be doing now is I'll be going straight forward. And guys, I forgot to say the resource file is attached to this video, so you can find the resource file attached to this video. The same thing I used in creating this. So I'll just go over to where I have mine and I'll open it up. The first thing I'll be importing is image. So I'll just drag and drop, or if you don't drag and drop, you can use your file, click on file, then click on import, then locate where you have it on your PC or your desktop. So having brought this inside here, the next thing I'll do is I'll hold down the shift key and resize this, make it smaller, and I want to make sure it's at the center of the page, so I'll just press P on my keyboard. That's a shortcut for centralizing things to the center of the page. So while it's at the center of the page now, I will hold down the shift key and I will increase it just so it covers the width of this page I tend to use. So the next thing I'll be doing now is applying transparency. So I'll come to where I have my transparency, I'll select it. Having selected that, I'll come over to image. Make sure your image is selected before you head over to transparency. So while I'm at transparency, I will just hold down the shift key and drag and drop from the middle like this. So as you can notice clearly, I have blended this area from this part, so it now aligns with this artboard, this first artboard I created. So that's how you can easily blend things inside CorelDraw. So I'll do this with this and also do that to this upper part. But as you can notice, I can only apply that effect one step at a time. So to apply the second step to that part somewhere around here, what I'll do is this particular image, I'll go to bitmap and I'll convert to bitmap. It should be set to 300, RGB 300. I'll click OK. So CorelDraw has done its thing, so I'll just go back to my transparency tool and from this middle I'll drag on this upper part and make sure it's not outside like this, it's just on top of it like this. I think somewhere around here is good for me. Nice. So the next thing we'll be doing is I'll be adding another background. So I'll move over to my resource file. And this particular one, this is what we'll be using. So I'll just drag and bring inside like this. So while it's here, what I would like to do is I'll click to bring the adjustable parts of this image, so I can have my skew and rotate, but I won't be using the skew, I'll be using the rotate. So I'll just rotate this like this, and the next thing I'll be applying to this image is blur. So I'll go to effects. Under effects, if you are using CorelDraw 2018, you might not find your effect under, you might find it under bitmap. But because I'm using CorelDraw 2020, my effects, my blur effect is under the effect tab. So this is where I'll find mine. But if you are using CorelDraw 2019, 2017, 2018, you might not find your own under effect. It will be under bitmap. Under bitmap, you find effect. Under effect, you find blur. So I'll just head straight to effect now and click on blur. Then what I'll be using here is Gaussian blur. So I'll select this and I'll just bump it up. I don't want to blow it out too much. I think at this point, yeah, somewhere here, I'm good with this. So what I'll do is I'll be clipping it inside of this artboard I created, this particular red one. So how do you achieve that? Select the image, then click on power clip, right click. Select the image, right click, and select power clip. Then when this arrow comes out, select the rectangle itself. Then when you've done that, because we need to adjust this, because this is just off. So we need to position it well inside of this rectangle. So what you can just do is just double click on the rectangle. When you double click on the rectangle, it opens up anything you have inside. As you can see, now it's clearly seen that I have this background. I added the blur to. So what I'll just do is I'll just shift it up and readjust it to fit the whole of this rectangle like this. Make sure it covers it well. Yes, I think somewhere around here is cool. I want this lighter part to be up here and this darker part to be down here. So when you are done, you just click on finish. So it brings you back up. F4 to fit to page. So guys, we're done with step 2. So what we'll do next is we'll be adding another effect to this flyer we aim to create. So the next thing we're doing is we're bringing the second background I'll be using, which is this one. So I'll just drag and drop inside. Good. So I would position this one well inside here, and I will just bring it like this. The same thing I did with that one that I applied transparency, that's the same thing I'll be doing here. So I'll just go over to my transparency, click on transparency while the image is selected, hold down the shift, drag and drop somewhere around the edge like this. I think with this I'm cool. So what I'll do is I'll take this aside, and guys, I have to power clip this first image. So what do we do to power clip that? Just since we have this guy power clipped inside here, what we can actually do in 2 ways. The first way is to actually click on Ctrl X. When you click on Ctrl X, now Ctrl X, you know that means to cut. Now I have cut this image. Now what I'll just do is double click on this box and just Ctrl V to paste it inside. And when I'm done, I just click on finish. Now as you can observe, now I have successfully put it inside of this rectangle. Okay, you might say you don't want to do that way, you want to do it in another way. Now another way to do this is selecting the image, right click and click on power clip, select the rectangle and just place it inside. As you can see, now I have placed it inside of this rectangle. So guys, let's move ahead. So we'll be doing the same thing to this one too. So I'll just use the cut and paste inside I used in the first place. So I'll just press Ctrl X to cut, double click on this rectangle to open it up and paste inside. So guys, I'll just fit this well to give it that effect I want it to have. I think somewhere around here is good. I don't want it to cover their faces entirely. Probably I'll just bring the image down a bit and make it a little bit bigger. Bring this down a bit and leave this somewhere here. Okay guys, as you can see, so the next thing I'll be doing now is to, so I would need lines. I did that too much, so I'll go back to my shape tool and bring this in a bit, because I want my sails to be somewhere here, not too big, not too small, but just somewhere. Guys, having done that, the next thing we'll be doing is bringing in other text. But before we do that, I would select my ellipse tool to draw out two shapes. So what I'll just do is select the ellipse tool, hold down the control when you're drawing, when you want to draw a circle, hold down the control key. Having done that, I'll give you the red color. Make sure anytime you draw any of these shapes, you always remember to remove the outline, except if you want to use the outline. But in this case, I'll be removing the outlines. I'll just come here and right click on this area. So as you can see, I've gotten rid of my outline. What I'll do is I'm actually making two, so I'll just Ctrl C and Ctrl V and make the second one smaller. So for this other one, I can use a darker shade of red for it. I think this is okay for this. What I can do is to make it smaller a bit. Guys, always make sure you zoom in to actually, so you are always precise when you want to format your text, or you want better clarity of what you are doing. So it's a good practice to always zoom in and zoom out, as the case may be. So the next thing I would do is I would go over to my text tool and I would type I think we'll be selling this burger for $50. So I would change the font, and again, it's good practice you work with maximum of 2 fonts when you are designing. 2 fonts max. You can use 3, but when it's above 3, it's too much and it doesn't work well for designs. So I'll just make this 50. Then I would use my shape tool just like I showed you before and bring this together. I always like it like that, and I think it's also good practice too, so you don't have your text, your letters separated. So the next thing I'll be doing is I duplicated that, Ctrl A to select everything, because I need to change what I wrote there. So I'll change this to combo. I'll just reduce this a bit like this and bring this here. So my combo is actually like this. Okay, so having done that, I'll select the 2 of them and make sure it's centralized well. So I'll take this up just so I have spaces in between the 2 of them. So at this point, I'm okay with what I have here. So I'll just reduce the sizes of this ellipse I drew. So just make it smaller. Now, one last text we'll be adding before I apply finishing touch to this flyer is the free delivery inclusive. So what I did here was I had selected the rectangle tool, zoom closer, like I said before, so you have a better view of what you're doing. On this base here, draw your rectangle like this. It shouldn't be too big, shouldn't be too small. I'll give you the color of white, make it white. Make sure you move the outline, like I said earlier on. Now we have our rectangle here, but we need to make that same effect you saw in the flyer. So what we'll do is, the first thing we're doing, we will be applying transparency tool. So what we'll do is, from the edge like this, I will just take this down and make sure the black covers the edge of this flyer like this edge like this. So as you can see now, I've created this effect here. So guys, having done that, the next thing we'll be doing is having converted it to bitmap, we'll be applying the same effects we applied here to this part of it. So we'll just drag from the middle like this, hold down the shift key, because when you don't hold down your shift key, there's a high tendency that this actually goes out of place. So just hold down your shift key. As you can see, I'm holding down my shift key. It's very hard for it to go out of place. So I'll just drag and drop here. So this is how you create this effect. using transparency tool. So what I'll just do, I haven't done that with this, I'll just make a duplicate copy. But before I do that, I think I will have to reduce this a bit. I feel it's too wide. So I haven't done that, so I'll just make a duplicate copy of this, Ctrl C and Ctrl V to actually make a duplicate copy of this. I think it's okay somewhere here. I don't want it too much, so I'll just copy this text, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and actually bring it here instead of having to come here and start typing again. I want to maintain one font, that's why I have to copy and paste here. So continuing with this, double click when a text is selected. If you want to edit it, just double click on it to take you back to the text too. So you can now select Ctrl A and write whatever you want to write. So I'll just write free delivery inclusive. Okay, and I'm done with that. I would like to centralize this here, and I'll just use my arrow key on my keyboard to bring this up a bit and bring this down a bit, just to having done that, I would also reduce a bit. Hold down the shift key to reduce a bit. We don't want it too big. I think somewhere around this area is okay. So I'll zoom out with my F4, and we'll be applying the last thing to this flyer, which is the 3D likes. So I'll just go ahead to where I have them and just select it, drag and drop. Right guys, just drag and drop. So I'll just reduce this, make it smaller, and make it smaller. So the first one, I'll have so many copies of this, so I'll just duplicate it, Ctrl C and Ctrl V. I'll bring this here, Ctrl C and Ctrl V, bring this here because I had 3 copies of this. So the first one I'll be adding to this flyer is somewhere around here. So I'll just click on the image to bring out these options. I can actually format this image with, I can skew and I can rotate, but I will not be skewing now. I will just be rotating for these images. So I'll just rotate like this, and somewhere around here is cool. So next, I'll be applying to this thing because I want to have this effect as if it's not too visible. So I'll be blowing it out. I don't want it coming out sharp like this. So I'll go to Effects, under Effects, Gaussian Blow, and you can move this out of the way to actually see the level of blow applied to it. I think with this level I'm okay. I'll just click OK. The next thing I'll be doing is I'll be power clipping this guy inside of this rectangle like I've done for the other things. So I'll just press Ctrl X. Since that is the exact place I want it to be, I will double click on the rectangle and press Ctrl V. So when I click out, as you can see guys, that is where it is now. And I just want to take it up a bit to this part. I think with this I'm cool. So the next one, for this one, I would like to mirror it because I don't want it facing this direction. I want it facing the other direction. So what I'll do is I'll come here where it says mirror. I'll come here where it says mirror horizontally. Then I'll click on it. And I also want to make this a little bit bigger, so I'll just increase the size a bit. Then using my rotate tool, I'll just I think I want to rotate this way. Rotate this way. I think I'm good with this. So I'll bring this up here like this because I want it somewhere around here. And I'll go to Effects, Blow, and Gaussian Blow. I think I'm cool with this blow like this. I'll just leave it like this. And another thing I want to do to this image is I want CorelDraw to actually do its thing and balance up this image. So I'll just go to Effects, Adjust, and Auto Adjust. So as you can see now, CorelDraw has adjusted the image for me. So what I'll just do is I'll just press Ctrl X and Control V to paste inside. Bring this down a bit, and I'm okay. So I'll do the same with this one. I already clicked inside. I'll just go to Effects, Adjust, and Auto Adjust. So CorelDraw will actually balance this image with the images around it, as you can see. So in terms of contrast and tone and everything, it's balanced with what you have inside, unlike how it was before. So the last one I will be adding is this particular one here. So this one in particular, I want it to be very, very big, not too big. You won't fill up the whole area of your design page. So I'll just make it small. I'll shift it inside like this. With the way it is like this, big like this, shift it closer, closer, and closer. So next thing I'll be doing is before I apply the blur to it, I will want CorelDraw to adjust the image for me. So I'll just click on Effects, Adjust, then Auto Adjust. As you can see now, I have contrast and depth in the image. So what I'll be doing is I'll be applying blur to it. I'll go to Effects, Adjust, and blur, blur, blur. Okay. Effects, blur, and Gaussian blur. But I want this to be more. So I'll just bump it up to create the effects I sought after. I'll just leave it somewhere here. The value I use is 80. Guys, 80. That's the value I used. So having gotten that effect I want, I'll just press OK. So instead of worrying myself to power clip, I'll just Control X and Control V to paste. So guys, as you can see, I have this inside, but I don't want this dark area to show. So I'll just bring this down a bit, and I'm still showing there. So I'll just zoom out my scroll wheel and make this bigger. Okay, good. I'm done with that. The last thing I'll be doing to this flyer is I'll be adding a drop shadow to this border. So what I'll just do is I'll go to Shadow, I'll click on it, and under presets I will select small glow. By default, this is the color you should see. You should have it in gray and something like this, but I need a darker shadow. So what I'll just do is I'll come up here where I have the color and select this black. As you can see now, I've applied that color to it. As you can see, my shadow is now darker. You can also reduce it by clicking on this panel here, and you drag this down a bit like this. As you can see, it's even more darker than it is. If I bring this up, as you can see, it's getting whiter, but by default shadow is always dark, so we'll make this darker and bring it down here like this. The next thing I'll be doing is I would reduce the feather. So I'll just come up here and reduce the feather a bit and reduce the shadow, the opacity of the shadow, so I can bring it down to 40, so it's not too much. We don't want too much of the shadow, just something moderate. I will bump the feather up a bit to like 24, and with this I'm good. So I'll just zoom out to see clearly what I've done. Okay guys, this brings me to the end of this video tutorial. Please do subscribe to my channel and turn on post notification, because I'll be dropping full videos of what I've done in the past. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.